There, that's the button I need. Oh, apparently tonight we are starting our stuffed animal collection because I have the ever-present Bigfoot, and then this is Bartholomew the Frog. He is here at request of my youngest to be educated in the dark arts because that's what he studies. So Bartholomew is going to study, and this is Jeff the Voidlottle. He's here looking cool. I don't know that he's attending class, but he's here looking cool. You know that guy. He always shows up for class, but he never learns anything. He just sits there and looks cool. Anyway, how is everyone tonight? Let me see here. Let me get caught up. Correct. Oh, Sailor, how'd that go? You ought to remind me a little bit what Correct. Correct. Bartholomew's the better student, though. Oh, yep. Okay, I remember. I remember. All right. Just remember to keep boundaries where they are. Like, just keep your expectations managed. Something a little weird. Jody Q. Hey. Yeah. We don't talk about it anyway, but that way you're official, right? So, what do you mean by weird? And so this will be a little bit different. I'm gonna ask some questions. We're gonna draw cards as we go. If you're all right with that. Anyone that's had a private reading with me will tell you quite often this is a lot more words. When I can talk, this is a lot more effective than one question at the front. So what do you mean by weird? Because I bet we can get to the bottom of it. And you'll have that. Now, was that something he specifically said he wasn't interested in? Like, was he like, I don't want to talk, I just want to, well, never mind. Or, okay. Okay, let's see. Right, and that's kind of what I assumed too, but and he didn't deal well. He didn't deal well with that at all. I imagine that he came in a little bit. Yep. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So the thing is, he has to. So ten of spades. Um, ten of spades means like we're pushing it by adding too much, by adding the next level. We're pushing or stressing him, right? Because I don't think that's something he's looking for, right? Um, so my 4 card readings are elemental readings, right? So logically speaking, because this top card is the element of air. Logically speaking, it does not go for what he's looking for. Right. Um, down here in the element of water, hang in there, Brat. Pop in the queue. Pop in the queue so we get to you, because I imagine you've had quite the day. Um, 8 of Hearts. Like, a lot of people, when they say they want something just physical, or when they approach something just physical, end up very close to the people that they do that with, even if it's not. So a real relationship, I think, is composed of 3 elements. There's the physical element, there's a romantic element, and there's a friendship element. Right. And so I think the confusion between the two of you comes in is it's like the romantic element is off the table. What he's wrestling with now is how much of the friendship element do you guys want in that? Right. And I actually get the feeling here, looking at this 8 of Hearts, that he wants quite a bit of this friendship element. But because he doesn't want the relationship element, well, yeah, because flirting can be physical as well. And the fact of the matter is, people confuse the romantic element and the physical element all the time. Especially guys, like, let's be honest. Guys are starved for real intimacy. It's the nature of being a guy in this day and age. We're starved for any real intimacy, and a lot of times you mix, like, the physical becomes a stand-in so often that it can be hard to distinguish the two. Right. So there's probably some confusion. He probably very well knows what he wants, but he's not sure where all those lines fall in. Um, I think over a very long time, you may have the opportunity for something a little more than physical with him, but it's going to be a very long time. Like I said, he's going to go away and come back again. Right. Um, but you can foster or support that now. Mm-hmm. And so so with that context, what I'm going to say is you can indicate a desire for more. You can indicate an openness to a more romantic connection without worrying about now, because he's going to move in his head. He's going to move. Right? And he may be moving. Um, but what happens when he comes back? If he knows you're open to a real relationship, then when he comes back, he'll know to call you. Right. because 100% this isn't going anywhere now, and he ain't ready. And that's all right. Is this like a dream place for him? Is this mm, you know what? Do I have Okay. I got time. Well, let's look at it a little bit. Oh, acting is so hard. Like, the industry is a nightmare right now. Mm, I've got another couple of clients in the industry, and the industry is a nightmare right now. Um, hmm So you know. So you know how it is. I've got a regular that's trying to break into doing production work, and he's struggling. He's struggling to break in. So, as far as it goes, I think there's other place that he wants to move to. Like, I think this is going to happen this next year. Yeah, I think this is going to happen. And I think that because the card that we have, by home you mean where his family lives, right? Because we've got the Four of Hearts, a family home. Um, yeah, but see, here's the problem. Three of Spades. He has so much of what is wrong tied in with where he's living now that he thinks a move is going to fix it. Right, Three of Spades tells me, trouble grows, trouble will follow him. In this case, I would say trouble will follow him. Right, he's not going to escape the credit card company that wants $5,000 just because he moves home. He's not going to escape his student bill just because he moves home. You know, the toxic previous relationship will still have his Instagram. She can still message him. Right, he's not escaping anything by running home. It just feels like he is. Um, However, I do think he'll find work back home. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and I think part of it is he's wondering if like finding work will be better for him. Um, and I get that. When you grew up in a place, see, I grew up an hour north of here in a city, and even now, it's an hour, so I drive back regularly. But even now, I know that city better than Rogue, who grew up out here, right? And that's only an hour's difference, right? In some ways, I'd feel more comfortable looking for a job out there because I know some stuff. hmm I think he'll find work out there, which is the biggest thing. Um, yeah, I would definitely not get too attached because what I kind of see here is he graduates, he moves home. Of course, whatever casual thing you've got going on goes on, Right, and that'll end when he moves, because of course it's going to. Right, his troubles follow him, but he gets the work in. Mm-hmm. Right, his troubles follow him, but he gets the work in. Like, he gets the job. He may... and honestly, I think he'll find a partner. He'll probably move in with this partner, and then, like, I can even predict to a spades, that crumbles. Right? That crumbles, that falls apart. And then what does he do? Because part of why he's running now is a previous relationship. Right? Part of why he's running now is a previous relationship. So when this one falls apart, what's he going to want to do again? He's going to want to run again. Right. I detect a pattern. I detect a pattern. I think this man, how do we put this? I think this man is 100%, Rogue, what's the term you use? This man is 100% a hobosexual. He will move to be with his partner, and then he will move to be with his next partner. Hobosexual. And like I think it's genuine. Right, I think it's genuine. I think he will, like, this is just who he is. He will be first out of the gate. He will be first out of the gate, elbowing. See, that's the thing. When the next relationship in the city he's moving back to ends, he's going to need somewhere to run again. He's going to need somewhere to run to. Now, here's the thing. If you planted all your seeds in this go-around, when he needs someone where to run to, he'll have some good memories of where you guys live now. Right, and he may go, well, I'll just pack up and move back there. Last time that went well. He may then look you up, because last time that went well. Right, because the itinerant hobosexual is always on the hunt. Because they need a place to be. I mean, what? The man should just buy a U-Haul truck. I'm just saying. The man should just buy a U-Haul truck. He can rent it out to he can rent it out on the weekends. I mean, correct, but he ain't even on stream, so I'm sure as heck. I wouldn't be his therapist if he was on stream. So with him not even on stream, I can't start telling him to fix his issues. That's his bartender or therapist job. It's funny. Naimura will be sick of this because I talked about this with her earlier today. But back in the day, right, what I do is not therapy. But back in the day, they didn't have therapy. Right. And what did you do? You took all the things you take to your therapist now, and you took them to one of four people. You took them to your beauty people, your hairdressers, your barbers, your nail people, etc. Right. You took them to your bartender. You took him to your priest, and you took him to your reader. Right. So, so as one of the four professions that's been doing this for hundreds of years, we'd like to welcome therapists to the job assignment. Don't get cocky, new kid. I mean, what? Um, so really, the biggest thing I think he needs is right here in this card, King of Hearts. Right? Where is all of this coming from? He can't be alone. There's a there's almost a self-worth issue with this, right? It's like he feels like about three-quarters of a person, so he'll cram another person in there to patch the hole, right? So what you do is you build him up, right? You build up his independence, even relying on him a little bit. Um, might inflate his head a little bit. I think that's okay. He needs that. Because at the end of the day, I bet you see it too. He feels he feels 14. And by that I mean he doesn't quite feel like an adult, which buddy, I'm 40 and mood. Like we all feel like sometimes you look around the room and you're like, shit, I am the adult. I think he feels like that all the time. Right. So by allowing him places that he can show mastery, allowing him places that he can know what he's doing, that builds that confidence, and that's ultimately the way to get him to stop needing to go from place to place. Because at the end of the day, it's that he doesn't trust himself to adult by himself. Right. I mean, shit, I say it all the time. My hearing isn't great, and I say it all the time. I legit worry if I would wake up when my alarms went off consistently. Now, as an adult, if I'm worried about that, I change my work schedule and I go to work later. But it's like he relies on people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Build him up. Allow him to show mastery. Allow him to show where he excels, and that will he'll feel more secure with you, and that'll change the energy, if that makes sense. No worries. All right, Brat, lay it on me. I have an idea of some of what's I have an idea of some of what's coming here. Uh, Sailor, questions before we move on? Okay, very good, very good. Just checking. Make sure you wanted. Nymera, I hope you won't mind. Sorry, I had a session with Nymera earlier. I already knew that was coming. Sailor, Sailor, go buy a daily for tomorrow. Play 9410 box. If you win, I want half. Although, let's be honest. If that worked, I wouldn't be. If that worked, I wouldn't be streaming from here. I'd be streaming from my studio beachside in Hawaii. Like, honestly. I'd probably still be streaming. I enjoy this. But I'd be doing it from my studio beachside. I know, sand and everything, it'd be too hot. I'd actually hate it. Erie, is there a lotto spell that will let you hit big? Probably not. Can you get some statistically relevant stuff? Yes, but let me put it together. Make sure we get it right. Make sure I get it right, and we'll, yeah, Welch's Fruit Snacks. Welch's Fruit Snacks are delicious. Are you kidding me? Although I didn't eat fruit snacks this time. Pardon. So, Brat, I guess here's the question: how bad is it now that we have some confirmation? Fruit snacks aren't bad for you. I mean, they're pretty much a mouthful of sugar, but you could do a lot worse. We're going to allow that. So, Brat, if you know the county you're looking in, records like that are records like that. He should be on a registry somewhere, and records related to registries like that would be public knowledge. Like, you don't even have to pay for them, but you have to search by county. And you'd be surprised what shows up on some of that. And it's allergy season. Apologies, folks. I mean, I suppose it's better that I caught it than you not know. So, kind of looking at these cards here, to respond to Nymera, like, it's some pieces of cardboard, and I don't want anybody panicking, but like, He's certainly, like, looking at the cards, he's certainly hit young, but whether it's legally a minor, I don't know. Right, because you can be 19. Oh, it's a whole thing, and I do not disclose who it is. Because I don't need opened up to that. Right, but Brat comes with tea. Brat comes with piping hot tea that's so good we have to peel a label off before we put it in a room. Mm-mm. What do you mean leave with tea? You ain't going nowhere, right? But yeah, no, like, I mean, I hate to be right. I hate to be right, and I wish I could. I wish I could say that I'm surprised. I wish I could say that I'm surprised that a C-list celebrity exploited his status, but I'm not. I mean, mm-hmm. Absolutely gross. So, I'm going to go ahead and take my smoke break slightly early. I can always hug the child on the way back through. And then we're going to talk proper cleansing of some things. We're going to talk proper cleansing of some things. Also, Nymira, if you want that to be effective, repeat the whole thing without the typo. Magic doesn't believe in typos. Rewrite the whole thing. I mean, what? I'll be right back, folks. So, first of all, Brat, like honestly, you can only respond to the information you have at the time. Right, and while I can throw cards for you and I can go, I smell it, I feel it, here it is in the cards. Right, like I don't know this man. And I tell people all the time, like my terms and conditions flat out just they're pretty plain English. And they flat out pretty much say, for entertainment purposes, yada yada yada. And then they say, and then in my terms and conditions, I do the plain English version. I'm like, look, I'm a believer in what I do. Presumably you are too, or you wouldn't be here. But there's a difference between what we believe and what's legally relevant, and nobody should base major life decisions on some pieces of cardboard. Right. Nobody should base major life decisions on some pieces of cardboard. So you ran with the information that you had. Right. And let's be honest, you weren't you might not have been using all of your brain power because some blood flow was elsewhere when the man was talking. Like, we've all been there. We have all been there. And it's easy to miss things. Although Hellraiser, so because that gets a little heavier too. Part of the reason that I like me some black walnut, there it is, some black walnut. I wish I could see the other end of my screen. There, that's better. Is real simple banishing ritual has always been to like knock. So something like a black walnut that's for protection, it's that simple. And I don't know if Rogue has ever seen me, nervous or worried about someone and just sitting there tapping it on things. Quite often I'll tap it instead of tapping it on something. But that helps cleanse things. And then of course, we don't think about our computers, our phones are like a primary source of information anymore. So they're a primary source of energy. Some nasty ass energy comes through my computer, I'm going to cleanse it. This thing gets hosed down with Florida water later. Now, I'm trying to get away from using Florida water on everything. But Florida water is effectively rubbing alcohol and some scents and things. It's probably better for your electronics than 90% of your other options. But and really, Brett, I think the thing is we're all attracted to, well, I won't say all, but like I get it. You're attracted to what stands out or what's weird. Right? You're attracted to people that don't follow societal norms in general. That in and of itself, there's nothing wrong with. Most of the best and worst of humanity both refuse to follow societal norms. Right. And no. Now, mind you, I'm struggling right now to come up with an example of the best of humanity that didn't follow societal norms. Because I wanted to lean on, I'm like, well, Gandhi didn't follow societal norms, but he slept naked in rooms with underage girls. So, there you go. That's a good example. That's a good example. She said, fuck the societal norms, fuck what I'm supposed to do. Right. And instead, she leaned into and I think, and Brett, here's what, because in some ways you remind me of me when I was younger, and I don't want that to come off as condescending because I don't quite mean it like that. But something that I've noticed is there's a difference between falling into an opposing pattern so that you are rejecting societal norms across the board. You'll reject everything. You know, counterculture or rejecting the norms becomes, your personality. I don't have much time for that anymore. Right, and I used to do that, and I, used to be attracted to that. And I don't have much time for that anymore. Brett, as a dirty gutter punk, can relate. Like really, as a dirty gutter punk, can relate. Punk isn't dead, we just got jobs. We just got jobs and now we gotta work at 7 a.m. You know what I mean? But it's like so you know the difference, right? Who's there, wherever the hell there is, right? Who's there because they're passionate about whatever the hell it is they're doing, or they found their people there, and who's there because it pisses off mommy and daddy, right? You know, you could look down your nose at some of the rich bitches that hopped trains and did the whole traveler thing because it was pissing off mommy and daddy. And at the end of the day, they weren't attached to nothing. And if they got in a real bind, they'd go right back to mommy and daddy's money because they were always rich. Right. But I'll also contrast that with somebody who I thought was like that. And they got sick. Sick. And like they hid their background from all of it because it's easy to hide your background when you travel. Right. And they hid their background from all of us. And when we found out, like, I kept it quiet, you know. But I'm like, dude, you gotta call your parents. You gotta go home and go to a real fucking hospital, dude. He fought me for a long time. That guy really lived his fucking morals to the point that we had to talk his ass into not dying for them. Right, I'm like, dude, mm-hmm. But the point being, it stopped being about pissing off mommy and daddy forever ago, even if it started that way. He was good people. People for whom it's not about pissing somebody off are the good people. People for whom it's about pissing off somebody. And we can say mommy and daddy, but like, that's interchangeable. Right. That's interchangeable. But across the board, stop and think about it. Right. I've met, and I don't want to get too far into politics or nothing, but I've met both conservatives and liberals for whom it was about pissing off the wrong side. And I don't care which side of the political spectrum you fall on. On either side of the political spectrum, the people for whom it's only about pissing off the other side are assholes. Across the board. Across the board. If once it becomes about pissing someone else off, and I would honestly say he's probably got someone he's trying to piss off. Now that someone might be dead, that's beside the point. That's beside the point. That don't matter anymore. And, I did that shit. I spent 2 years studying Satanism because I spent 2 years. Well, and that's the hardest part. Because if you're trying to piss off somebody who's dead, you'll never piss them off. They don't give a shit anymore. So you spend your whole life trying to piss them off. I mean, what? Anyway, that conversation took a weird turn, but never you mind that. Awake. Oh yeah, no worries. No worries, and let's give some credit to Nymera here too. Like, I had to play with kid gloves. Nymera did not, and she didn't. You know how it is. Well, and you know exactly how it is. I have to be a little bit careful on stream. I may only have 3 people in here, but it's not like it don't get recorded and can't be clipped and what have you. I mean, shit. Not that I mostly expect anybody to give a shit, but still. Nymera had a little more freedom to run her mouth, and I was really glad she was. Although weirdly enough, I think all right. So, looks like we ended up wrapping up. Ah, Erie came in and signed up for a reading, but then he's been pretty quiet. You still around, Erie? I know he has a lot of internet issues. Let's see. I know he's got so many internet issues. I'm trying to give him time. Hmm. I don't know, man. Alright, well, I suppose sitting around waiting on him ain't gonna do me no good. I suppose I'll probably call it for the evening. It's a little early, but that'll be alright. Gives me time to hang out and chill, maybe throw something on TV for a little bit. Oh, that's alright. Yeah, mostly that. Cause like I had to talk around it. You did not, and you certainly did not talk around it, which I appreciate. All right, folks. Well, I suppose I'll get a little bit early, and I'll see everybody on Tuesday. Nymira, don't let me forget. Don't let me forget. Erie had signed up tonight, but I don't see him. And I know he has some internet issues. So when he comes in next week, or when he comes in on Tuesday, remind me I owe him a reading. Yeah. He's still in the queue, and I'll owe him a reading. But we'll just leave him in there. That'll remind me. All right. Good night, folks.